Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about Buccaneers edge rusher Haason Reddick and why I believe that the Bucs are confident that Reddick is going to be a huge part in fixing not just the Buccaneers pass rush, but the majority of the Buccaneers defense as a whole. Now, these are quotes from general manager Jason Licht and head coach Todd Bowles. They are a little bit older quotes. Jason Licht spoke to the media on March 31st of 2025, whereas Todd Bowles spoke to the media on April 1st of 2025. So let's go ahead and start off with Jason Licht. When asked on the addition of Haason Reddick, Licht had this to say. Well, first of all, we're really excited to have him. He's really a unique player. He's got a lot to prove. He's very hungry. I really enjoyed the conversations we've had since we signed him. He's going to play to try to get another bite at the apple, which I like. He's really excited to help the young guys. He's talked about that, being a leader and all those things. So that's always going to help. I'm just excited what he can do for all the young guys, for Yaya Diaby, for Kalaji Kansi, for Vita Vea, Chris Braswell Jr., all those guys will benefit from him. Then, when asked on if Reddick's 2024 season caused him any hesitation from a character standpoint, Jason Licht had this to say. Not from a character standpoint. Every situation is different. There is a story behind everything. I think it's behind him, and in some ways, I was kind of excited. It gave us an opportunity to potentially get great value. I'm rooting for him to have a great year. Then, when finally asked on if Licht spoke with Philadelphia Eagles executive vice president / general manager Howie Roseman about Reddick, Jason Licht said this: "That's fair. Howie is one of my best friends, so that's fair." So it does seem like Jason Licht did ask Howie Roseman about his time with Haason Reddick with the Philadelphia Eagles. Haason Reddick had a pretty good run with the Eagles over there in Philadelphia, so it seems like that was a good thing. It seems like Jason Licht, and I agree with him, the Bucs did get Reddick at very good value, and if he can showcase that player that he was before he joined the New York Jets, which was a double-digit sack artist for multiple seasons in a row, it is fantastic value. I agree with that 100%. I also agree with Licht whenever he says, yes, Reddick does have a lot to prove. That season with the Jets was very tumultuous. It was very just not good for every party involved. Okay, so Reddick does have a lot to prove. He does want to go out there and get a big contract one more time before he likely calls it a career, be it with Tampa Bay, be it without Tampa Bay. So I do agree with that. And yes, finally, I do agree with what Licht said about what Reddick can be as a leader, as a mentor, maybe even just as simple as leading by example. I think it will help out Yaya Diaby. I think it will help out Kalaji Kansi. I think it will give more opportunities for Vita Vea and Braswell and just all of those different guys to succeed, right? I think whenever you think about the mentorship aspect, that is for Yaya, that is for Kalaja, and that is for Braswell, okay? They all can learn from the pass rushing skills of Haason Reddick. Whereas in the case of Vita Vea, he is already a tenured veteran at this point in his career, so I think that more helps in the sense of schematically and just opening up more opportunities for Vita Vea. And I'd even throw Logan Hall in that mix as a guy who can learn from a Haason Reddick. Now let's go ahead and go to what Todd Bowles had spoke about on April 1st, 2025. When asked on the signing of Haason Reddick, Todd Bowles had this to say. I knew him as a player. He came to Arizona after I left. That's very true. Haason Reddick was a first-round draft pick by the Arizona Cardinals. It happened right after Todd Bowles left to go accept the head coaching job for the New York Jets. He got there the year after I left, I'm pretty sure. That is correct. Run game coordinator / outside linebackers coach Larry Foote had a lot to do with him, and we talked about it quite a bit. I knew he was a heck of a pass rusher. We needed a pass rusher. We knew he started halfway through the season, so I would consider last season a wash for him. We expect him to be his old self with us. He can do a lot of things, but more importantly, he can rush the passer. If we've got guys that can rush the passer, we let them rush the passer. Like I said last year, we need to rush better with 4. I think he brings a great addition to help us rush with 4 so we can cover more and do those types of things. We'll still pressure some, but hopefully it won't be as much as last year because we had to instead of how we want to. Not really sure how that sentence works, but I think he brings that to the table for us. Then when asked on if Reddick's pressure will contribute to increasing amount of interceptions for Tampa Bay, the Todd Bowles said that would be the plan. Yes. Then when asked on what outside linebacker Haason Reddick told Todd Bowles about his 2024 season, Bowles had this to say. He didn't say much about it. I mean, he got there late. It was a wash. It was a wash. He wrote the year off as not a good year. He didn't say much about why it didn't work. He just said he never got his footing and he never got down. When you miss half the season, I can understand that. Finally, when asked on what outside linebacker Haason Reddick can teach Yaya Diaby, Bowles had this to say. Well, he's been in the league the longest, so he's experienced. Obviously, he can teach him how to rush the passer from a mental standpoint. If he can add some things there to help him from a pass rush standpoint, that would be great. They all have different body types, so it'll be interesting to see the dynamics of it, but they both want to get back to the quarterback, and if they're beating back at the quarterback, then I'm a happy guy. So again, this continues that conversation of, look, the most important thing that Reddick is bringing to the Bucs is being a star pass rusher, or the hope of being a star pass rusher, okay? And look, Todd Bowles has talked about rushing 4 more, not wanting to blitz as much. And I agree, blitzing as much as the Bucs have been doing can have some negative side effects, okay? And we've seen that happen time and time and time again for the past couple of years because the Bucs have not been able to rush the passer. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is gone. You have now Haason Reddick in his place. You did keep Yaya Diaby. You did bring back Anthony Nelson. You do still have Chris Braswell, and you brought in Andrew Walker as well. So there is a mix of veterans in the case of Reddick and Anthony Nelson. There is a mix of young guys in Yaya Diaby, in the case of Chris Braswell, in the case of David Walker as well. So you do definitely have some mixes. Again, Bowles said a lot of different body type of guys. I agree. I think having Larry Foote there helps out a lot as well. And again, it goes back to leading by example. Okay. Now, Bowles didn't really mention much about being a mentor, right? In fact, he kind of in a way spoke to say like, hey, I mean, I think he can help from a mental standpoint, but these might be two very completely different edge rushers in the case of Yaya Diaby and Haason Reddick, whereas they're different body types. I think Yaya's bigger than Haason Reddick in terms of just overall build and body type, so that may mean that Haason Reddick wins more with speed, whereas Yaya Diaby wins more with power. So that will be interesting to say, well, is there much that Reddick can teach Diaby, or are the body types so different it's just going to be more of a mental standpoint, like what Bowles was saying. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see, folks. It is. But the Bucs are very confident in Reddick. They are confident that he will be able to, most importantly, bring down the quarterback, okay? Before anything else, before what you talk about, what this means for other players learning about Haason Reddick and all those other different types of things, locker room leader, helping out the young guys. The most important thing that the Bucs, specifically Todd Bowles, is looking for is, can you bring down the freaking quarterback? Because we need that. And I agree. And I hope that Reddick will be able to do that. I know that there is some hesitation, I think, and maybe even some skepticism thrown in there as well about the potential of Reddick coming back to form. I think he will be able to come back to form, and I think he will be a big piece for the Bucs going forward here in this pass rush. He certainly needs to be if the Bucs do want to have success this upcoming season getting after the quarterback. So what do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts and opinions about it down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, guys, we'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.